I went to Home Depot and picked up a Ryobi crown stapler in order to put these strips back up. And these are basically just 3-inch strips that covered the seams where the plywood met each other on the inside of the trailer. And of course, adding the plywood to the ceiling, I had to put some extra ones across there in order to cover up the seams. Now, I did leave this side open for right now, and that's because the wiring for the ceiling lights is going to be running down that, so it'll kind of act like a wire chase. And I made sure I pulled wires ahead of time when I was putting the ceiling up to run down through the middle so the 3 LEDs would be able to be wired up. So yeah, just get all this stapled on, and next thing to do is to start doing some caulking. And through the power of video, it is done. So yep, just used the latex caulk, went around all the edges where the wood was meeting each other, and just filled them in along with some of the deeper gouges from the nails and the crown stapler, and of course the screws that were put into the wall in different places. Now, I didn't countersink everything and go back and wood putty fill it and all that. I mean, this is a very rough interior. I mean, this isn't, premium grade wood being used on the wall, so I didn't see much need to go through and do all that, since it was such a rough interior anyway. But, you still want it to look nice, so that's what I did. I used Benjamin Moore paint. The only reason why I used Benjamin Moore is because there was an Ace Hardware right up the street from where I lived, and just got a gallon of latex for light gray for the walls and the ceiling, and then got a couple of quarts of dark gray for the cabinetry. So I think overall it came out pretty good. The light gray, or I guess you can call it agreeable grays, it's just subtle, and it gives it enough light if you have a light on the inside or the doors open that it brightens up the inside of the trailer pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it and think it looks good along with the darker gray, which you'll see eventually. Originally the battery was going to go right there, and there was going to be a cabinet built up around it, and all the wiring for the LED lights was supposed to run up there through the chase and then across the ceiling. And included in that was a wire that ran all the way back across the back wall down the side for the refrigerator. But several things actually occurred after this, which involved me having to pull all that wiring back out again. One was I needed a thicker gauge for the distance and for the amps that the refrigerator was going to draw. But yeah, had to rip all that out and start over again. But since I already had it open, I went ahead and insulated the corners and the top piece, and then reinstalled the aluminum facing that was going around the edge there. So kind of just gave it a nice clean look after everything was said and done. On to the lights. So I'm using 3 LEDs, dome lights, 2 of which are just a standard white dome light, which is on the front of the trailer, and on the back of the trailer, I should say, on the ceiling. The one in the center, I actually went with a white and red lens, or white and red LED, and that's just so at night times I don't have to have the white lights on. I can just have the red LED on and be able to see. I didn't see a need to put all 3 of them with red lights. That would just be too bright. It was just going to be easier with one center one. I mean, I'm not using the red light in order to read or anything like that. It's just to move around the trailer without breaking my toes somewhere. So yep, just stripped the wires back, used crimp connectors on them, and then I just used a heat gun in order to seal them up when I was done. Yep, so paint and lights is finished, and of course right there in the center is the red light, and on each end is the white LED. So stand by, more content coming.